I'm Joanna, and this is Next, a weekly vlog where I talk about singing and what's coming up next. You can catch me right here on YouTube by clicking the subscribe button, or you can follow me on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Joanna Moffett Soprano, JohannaMoffitt Soprano, or you can follow me on Facebook or Twitter at Joanna Moffett. Same spelling. On March 21st was Under the Radar, our Harris Associate Board fundraiser for the Harris After the Mix at 6 series with Christian Scott and his amazing band. We had 25 more people than we expected, so we raised a great amount of money for the Harris. And the band was incredible. They all came upstairs and hung out with us, and I got to sing, and it was beautiful, and I had so much fun. Really feel so blessed to have the friends that I have in my life. I'm always so impressed about them showing up and really supporting me. On March 23rd, I went to see Fellow Travelers, part of the Lyric Unlimited series. My friend Daniela Candilari was conducting, and it's probably the best piece of art that I've seen ever. I was trying to think if I could think of anything that was comparable, but from start to finish, you know, from the music itself, the ethereal quality of the music, you were transported into their world, and the actors were immediately in their characters. The singing was beautiful. It wasn't always perfect, but I think it really suited the characters and the characterization of the piece. It's awesome to have anger and frustration and hatred and all of those emotions come through the voice when someone's singing. I'm just so impressed with this production that I really hope that I get to see more works like this come out of the Lyric. Kudos to Daniela. I'm really impressed with the lengths she's come to in her career, and I'm so happy and excited for her. On March 24th, I sang at the Metropolitan as part of the List Party. It's a special party that the staff throws for members who have brought in new members throughout the course of the year. I felt honored that the membership team would invite me to come and perform at the party. I've been getting a lot of feedback from the members, them really enjoying my performance, and so that was really cool to get to share that part of myself with them. On March 25th, I had my callbacks for the Petite Opera Don Giovanni and La Rondine. I sang Donna Anna's aria Non mi dir after learning it throughout the course of a week. It was not a good audition. As you can imagine from my rattling off of all those things that I did the week before, I was pretty exhausted by the time I got to Sunday. I also had my usual church service on Sunday morning. So when I got to Sunday afternoon, traveling all the way out to Park Ridge, my singing was not good, and I was really disappointed because the work I had been doing all week was really good. But it's interesting, not until you have enough time to sit with a piece can you go into an audition and not have a perfect day and still sound pretty good. I didn't have the luxury of that, and I'm not upset or angry about it. I'm just sad that I didn't get to sing my best. But c'est la vie, we learn, and I have a new aria to work on, and it's gorgeous. I'm excited to get to sing it again in the future. And then it was Holy Week. So Holy Week coincided with the final week of dress rehearsal and performances for Sound of Music at the Lycée Française. April is going to have a little bit of downtime for me, and it can really rework my aria package for some upcoming auditions. The Lycée had rehearsal every night during Holy Week for their final dresses, and I was there on Tuesday and Wednesday. I had church choir rehearsal on Thursday. Then Friday morning was our opening performance. It was for their schoolmates, and so it was pretty cool. It was kind of like somewhere in between a final dress rehearsal and an opening performance, if that makes sense. I've never conducted anything professionally before, and I've only had one other experience outside of the classroom conducting anything, and that was about 15 years ago. So this was a really fun, challenging experience for me, and I feel like I grew as a musician. I really enjoy working with the students at the lycée, and so I was having a good time doing that, you know, for them. Friday night was the Good Friday service. I sang Were You There When They Crucified My Lord again. This time, our choir director, Christopher, asked me to walk all the way downstairs. There's a huge hall underneath the church. So I started Were You There at the front of the church, walked through the center aisle, and then I think I got to the narthex around the second verse, I want to say. There's a set of stairs going down into the hall downstairs. So I took my time walking down the stairs. Also, I was in 3-inch heels, so I, didn't want to make a bunch of noise and also didn't want to fall down the stairs. I took my time. I got to the third verse when I got down the stairs and then walked into the hall and I just kept walking, and it was cool. Like, it was really interesting. I didn't know if they could actually hear me or not, but they said they could. They heard me all the way to the end when a fire truck went by the church. Kind of like they bled into each other right at the end of the song. So that's kind of funny. I didn't hear the fire truck, but I'm deaf. So I don't know. I always think of Denise Blackmore singing Were You There when I was a child. And it's so funny to be that person now, the person singing the song that was so chilling to me as a child. Anyway, March 31st was our final performance of Sound of Music. The kids were incredible. We did a talk back after the show, which was really fun. It's so interesting to get to see how they feel about their performances and their rehearsals, and for the most part, kids speak pretty candidly about their experience, and that's always great. I feel like I'm learning from them constantly, so that was cool. I really hope that I get to work with these kids again next year, because we'll get to sort of solidify the ideas that I started, the foundation that I started to lay throughout this rehearsal process, and I'm really looking forward to working with them more. Easter, Easter Sunday, we did 2 services. It was really fun. We had a brass quartet come and play a couple of the hymns with us. We did a big bombastic anthem with them as well. The other anthem that we did was for 4 hands. So our choir director played with the organist on the piano, and one of our choir members, who is a local music teacher, and he conducted us. And so that was really cool. And that was like also a harkening back to my childhood, because all the paid members of my choir growing up, my church choir growing up, were professors at my university. And so I got to learn from the best, and it's such a great learning experience to get to work with good musicians. It makes you work harder. It makes you step up your game. So that was cool. Coming up next, I have on May 12th my Minnesota Opera audition. They're auditioning for chorus and for smaller parts. It's like their local musicians audition. So I'm excited about that. Every time I tell someone that I'm auditioning in Minnesota, they ask me, "Oh, would you have to move there? Would you have to go there?" And I'm like, "Well, I'd have to definitely go there to perform and do the rehearsals. I don't know if I'd have to move there because they haven't hired me yet, so I don't know what my contract looks like." But it's interesting because in my mind, let's say I got the lyric chorus contract, I would have to quit my day job. Even though I wouldn't have to move out of Chicago, I wouldn't be able to see everyone in the same way, and I would be a lot busier. So it's interesting to me when I think about how people see my performing or how it fits into my life. I very much put it first above most other things, except for two small fluffy friends that I have. So, something I've been thinking a lot about lately is getting back into working on shows on the production side of things. So I put some feelers out to see about looking into directing and producing. I loved the work that I did with Core as a producer and as a director, but I'd like to be able to do that on a larger scale and with more help with a staff that's already in place, and see what I need to learn, because I feel like I was able to teach myself some things, but now I want to grow even more and experience even more. I think that my mind started going when Daniela was here. We were talking about what do I want to do next, and I love both sides of my life, performing and also directing and producing shows. And so I really want to be able to do both. I really want to explore both. And that's something that was always a challenge in school. People didn't want me to do both. But I want to. So I'm going to try to do both and explore both and keep putting myself out there and see what comes back to me. So that's all I have for next this week. See you on Monday next.